Hi, I'm Eileen Roche, founder of Designs in Machine Embroidery, and I'm so excited that you're here with me today. We have, I'm broadcasting from home. We've had a little bit of a stressful morning, so we're going to try to get through this as best we can, because I was really looking forward to sharing with you 3 of my favorite time-saving tips. You know, saving time in the embroidery studio is important because we all have so many ideas in our head, and many of us are working or maybe caring for other family members or even friends. And you know, when we get that time that's for us to be in our embroidery studio, our sewing room, you know, we don't want to waste time. So that's definitely you know, what's so important to my heart. And thank you all for chiming in. Diane Mullins-Atkinson, she says, love all that fabric in the background. Isn't it pretty? I know, that's where I shop my wall, right? Many of us shop our closet. That's my fabric wall. Kind of sorted by color, but not perfectly. I'm not that fussy about that. And Lori Albrecht, hi, it's a beautiful day in Illinois. You might be a neighbor. Well, I don't know how, I'm kidding. You're fellow Illinoisans. And it's great to have you both here, Laurie and Diana. So, and Alicia Gentry, hi, nice to have you here from Northwest Arkansas. You're gonna love the small town charm that we're gonna be sharing towards the end of the program. So we have today's top 3 embroidery time savers. So like, as I said, I'm home and I have my creative director, Sam Solomon, here at my house with me. We've had to bring wires and, you know, all kinds of, you know, technical stuff to make this happen. But here we are. So he's going to run the slideshow for me today. And we'll see how that goes, right? So let's go ahead to the next slide, which is our Perfect Stitch Viewer special. Today's program is brought to you by Perfect Stitch Viewer. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the program. But first, let's talk about our top 3 time-saving tips. And one is hand or machine. 2, copy paper versus target paper, and 3 is text or image. So we'll delve into each of those, and let's start with our first 2. We'll actually do them together. So that's hand or machine. Now you might think I'm talking about a machine. Well, if you know me, then you know I am definitely not going to be doing any hand sewing, right? To me, hand is a 4-letter word when it comes to sewing. So when it's a machine, the machine that I'm talking about is our stitch ripper, and then copy paper versus target paper. So these 2 really go hand in hand in a sense. And copy paper can be economical, but it is not that much of a time saver. So let's go ahead and watch this video that we pre-recorded because of all of our technical difficulties. So if you remember, last week I showed you my 2 big patches, Steamboat and Dreamboat. And I had meant to actually stitch Steamboat on both of those. So on our live session last week, I ripped out the S, or the D, I'm sorry, the D on Dreamboat with our stitch ripper. And notice I'm using the narrow blade. So that's the 10mm wide blade. And I'm just taking, you know, my time. That's the King Star metallic thread. So, you know, it's a nice tight text letter, and it does take a little bit. Now, do I pick up a seam ripper? Probably. At the end of tearing it out, you might need to use a seam ripper to just kind of pull out some of those final straight stitches. And you know, we're particular about our embroidery, right? We want to get every last thread out. That's exactly what we want to do. And it takes a little bit of time, not too much. Now, one of our students suggested using a lint roller to clean up that mess. I love that idea. So here you can see I'm using the print and stick target template paper. And I have printed just the S and the T with a crosshair on that paper. And because it's tacky, adhesive, and it's translucent, I can see right through it. Now, I'll use a ruler to confirm that the S and the T are aligned with the rest of the word. We want to make sure that that's all running on the same baseline. That's what's really important when you are correcting, any kind of embroidery mistake, and most certainly text. So now that's it. I mean, I can place that on adhesive. I would use my sticky hoop and with the adhesive tearaway and place that patch, just place it right down on the sticky stabilizer, and then center my needle over that crosshair that was on the target sticker. And then just make sure that I have the S&T on the machine screen, and move the needle to the center of that target sticker, and I'm ready to stitch S&T. Because it's that tacky, the sticky stabilizer is tacky, it's going to hold it all in place. Absolutely. So let's see, Alicia Gentry, you say that the Stitch Ripper is a real project saver. Yeah, it is, because we've already devoted a lot of time and resources into a project. And, if you have, I don't like to call it a mistake, but, if there's a flub that has occurred during the embroidery project, instead of tossing the whole thing, you can use a Stitch Ripper to remove those stitches, those unwanted stitches, right? And remember, that Stitch Ripper comes with two blades. It has that 10 millimeter, and it also has the wider, when I don't remember what that is, but anyway, the wider blade. But and it has oil, and it has a brush. It has a charging cord, but it is cordless, which makes it really handy to use. And in addition to that, it has 2 speeds. So if you're working on really delicate fabric, then you can slow it down and make sure that you're not using it at its highest speed. So I like those features of the Stitch Ripper. Okay, so our next tip is all about text or images, right? And it's not really a tip, it's my time-saving methods. And so text or images, you're probably wondering, well, exactly what I'm talking about. Well, that is on my hard drive, right? So I'm going to share my screen and show you exactly what I mean. So maybe we'll make that full screen. There we go. So now you can see this is the normal default for a Windows Explorer or Mac, and it's just numbers and maybe a little icon that it is an embroidery design. But if I take the time to go into Windows Explorer, I have to ask a question to Sam here. Are they seeing the whole file? No, they're not. Oh, there we go. Okay, sorry, everybody. Like I said, we're operating a little differently today because we're broadcasting from home. So, okay, so at the top of the screen, you can see I'm in File and View. So at the top of your Windows Explorer screen, you'll have Home, probably Home, Share, and View. And then you have all these choices here as to how to view your icons. They can be tiles, they can be small icons, medium icons, large, and even extra large. I often stick with large, but then if I go into the preview pane, I get an even larger image over here in the right-hand portion of the screen, which makes hunting for embroidery designs a streamlined process. Because, as embroiderers, we're graphic, we kind of have a graphic memory. We see what in our mind's eye, what we're looking for before we actually find it. So this helps us do that. Now, in the details pane, when I have that selected and large icons, I get even more information about this embroidery design. It'll give you the name of the design at the top, the format that it's in, the stitch count, the colors, the width, the height, and a rating if you take the time to tag your designs. And it also tells you where it is stored. It is absolutely fabulous, that Perfect Stitch Viewer. I use it. You know, the best part about it is you don't even know you're using it. It works in the background. It's a seamless operation. Once you install it on either your Windows computer or your Mac, then it just works behind the scenes. There's no real update required. It just automatically, you know, continues to stay updated with the Windows and Mac software platforms, operating systems. Judy Quilt, yes, it most certainly does work on a Mac, which is awesome. You will have to download our Mac translator, which there's information on the website about that. And then it just, again, will work seamlessly in the background so that you don't ever have to open it up to let it do its thing, right? And that's what we want. Yeah. Oh, Judy. Okay, so you did just hear, right? Well, there's a delay here in, you know, in the broadcast from what you ask and when I speak and so forth. So anyway, I hope you'll bear with me on that. So let's see. So that's the best part of the Perfect Stitch Viewer, is that it's in the background and you never have to open it, and it works with all machine formats. So all of my designs are in C2S. That's the native format for a Dime software. So I never save embroidery designs in a machine format unless I'm sending it to the machine, just to cut down on duplicates, you know, on my hard drive. And then that way I can make changes to that native file, the C2S, and not have to worry about, you know, changing what we call an expanded file, which is a machine format. Now, it also doesn't matter what software programs you have on your computer. So if you don't have Dime software, like if you have software from, you know, Baby Lock or Bernina or Brother or Husqvarna Viking, then you can still use this program. Our program shakes hands with all embroidery files. It doesn't matter what other software you have, so you don't have to worry about that. Let's see, Jean Halverson wants to know, she says she has it and loves it, and can it be used on one computer? All of our software comes with 2 activations, so I imagine that you can put it on two different systems, Jean, so I wouldn't worry about that. It is so handy and so helpful to have on your computer. You know, I was going to say in your embroidery studio. It's not in your studio. It's on your laptop. It's on your computer, and it is just going to make all of your embroidery designs so easy to find. Absolutely. So yeah, Carolyn does work with any embroidery software. I hope you understood that. And any embroidery design at all. It doesn't matter who the digitizer was, whether it's some of your favorite digitizers, like maybe Embroidery Library, Urban Threads, Juju Designs, you know, whoever it is. They all share the same properties, that they are embroidery files, and our Perfect Stitch Viewer will turn that title into a thumbnail and let you view it on your computer. And remember, you have the ability to change the view. You can make it really large. If you're looking for a list and you do know, maybe you store things alphabetically or numerically, then you most certainly can go back to details or just the list. Now, see the difference between list, literally just gives you the name, and then details gives you the name, the date it was modified, what it is, and the size. So that's the difference in all of these different formats that Microsoft gives us the ability to change and customize for our own likes and needs. So we're spoiled, I'll tell you, we're really spoiled. So I'll go back to large icons so that you can take a better look at it. And frankly, I don't know how I kept track of my embroidery designs prior to this, because they were all numbers, right? They're all numbers, whether you buy from Anita Good Design or whoever you buy from, they're all numbers, and they make sense to that company who manufactured it, you know, who created it. They don't make a whole lot of sense to us. So now you know how to find it. Now you know how to find it. So let's go ahead and go back to PowerPoint, and we'll show you the special, that Perfect Stitch Viewer is available. Here's our special. It's only $79.99 and it's an instant download. You don't have to worry about us mailing it to you. It comes right in your email and you'll be able to download it and install it immediately. It also comes with 20 bonus free embroidery designs that get installed along with it, and you'll probably enjoy that. But let's take a look at some of the small town charms. Shall we do that? I know many of you know that this has been a year-long program that started in January. And in January, we had the quilt shop and the bake shop. And then in March was the dress shop. Let's see. April was all about flowers, all about blooms. It was so pretty. And then in May, we had the 2-story sidewalk cafe with it, with a second-story deck, because we were just beginning to get that beautiful weather. And I hear so many of you piping in today about how gorgeous your weather is in Illinois and in Kansas, and most certainly it is in Texas today too. We've enjoyed a couple of days of really enjoyable weather. And so then June was the town hall. This was a 2 hooping design, which was super fun. And then July was Scoops, home of the giant ice cream cone, like the sign says. And then in August, we had the gazebo. And many of you had so much fun adding your own embellishments to the gazebo. Now, in the next month was September. And here, instead of kind of doing back to school, I opted to go with a bookstore because I thought that, well, not all, didn't really know if all the schools were going to be opening, but many of them have, thank goodness. But we still love to read, right? So many of you had requested either a library or a bookstore, so we went with the Book Nook. But this week we found a really spectacular small town charm from Judy Whitaker. And Judy, I wonder if you're in the audience. I hope you are. Take a look at what she's done. So this is her town hall from June. And as we go full screen, let's go ahead and go full screen so we can take a look at that. There's actually 2 designs here, I mean 2 images, so that you can see in her notes, she mentioned that she really wanted this 2 hooping design to have an element that opened up. Some of our awnings, some of our rooftops have done that. Maybe not that I've done it, but many of you have made that happen. And she left us just wowed. So first, let's look what she's added. She's added those beautiful trees right and left of the building, her seagulls. She adds them in every issue. And a beautiful American flag, that USA flag just flapping in the wind. And then you can see her hand is about to lift that small roof. And so in the next image, you'll see, oh no, Sam, oh no. Okay, we can make that happen. We do have it here. See, this is what I was telling you about some of the technical difficulties we had. So we lost an image, but I do have it here. And so you'll just bear with me because it is really worth seeing. I can tell you that. She added an element underneath of that clock tower that is absolutely spectacular. And Judy is a genealogist, and she has shared that in all of the small towns in America, in their town halls, many of them have records of, birth dates, weddings, real estate records, all of that. And is this being shown on Facebook? No? Okay, thanks so much. Because where am I at here? Let's see. All righty, here we go. We could find her small town charm. And then I'll share it with you. Let's see. Are we sharing now? Is it on Facebook? Oh my goodness, this is just horrible. Okay, so I'm going to stop share, and then I'm going to share again so you can see what I've come up with. Not what I've come up with, what Judy has come up with, and it is really quite impressive. So there we go. How about that? So when you lift her clock tower and her roof, she's added a bookcase and a ladder to climb that bookcase. And she shared that it was also quite a challenge for her to do. She's very grateful to Sue Brown from OML Embroidery, her digitizing lessons that she has provided free to everyone on her channel. And she learned lots of steps from Sue. She also said that she made that flap out of felt and a rather rigid stabilizer so that it doesn't flap. You know, there's no flapping. She says it does lay nice and flat, which is good. She also added a, that wood flooring underneath the ladder and the bookcase to really give it depth. A wonderful job on that, Judy. It is amazing how that happened. But I mean, how you made that happen. But look who's in the door, Charlie Brown. Isn't that fun? I guess, Judy, you're a Charlie Brown fan. And when I saw it, I wondered if you were from Minnesota. I know I don't think that you are, but Minneapolis, is full of Charlie Brown statues and so forth. So I was wondering if you had a connection to Minnesota, or maybe you just love Charlie Brown. Lots of people do, for sure. So didn't she do a great job? Don't you think? And there's Sue S. Brown. She says, yeah, that she loves the town hall records. That's awesome. And Laurie Albrecht. And Judy Whitaker, she says, yes, she is a huge Charlie Brown fan. Judy, you have to get to California, to Santa Rosa is the home of the Museum of Charles Schultz, and you would really love all the charm in Santa Rosa and that beautiful museum that they have there. My stitching sister and I had the wonderful opportunity to visit that town and learn all about Charlie Brown out there. Isn't it amazing? She really has done a great job. And Karen, she says, it's wonderful. Candace Bray. Oh, and Candace, your projects have been really wonderful also. We've really enjoyed seeing your work. So many of you have done such a great job. And I know that many of you are anxiously awaiting what is happening next Thursday, and that is the October reveal for the Small Town Charm. And I'm excited. I just finished it this morning, so I'm really excited to share that with everybody next week. And it's sitting over there. I wish I could bring it in and show you, but that's not fair. So you'll have to wait till next Thursday. We're going to have a guest next week, and that is Sally Tomato, and I'm hoping maybe Sue Brown would also join me next week for the reveal of the October door. I'll have to get with her. She's in the audience, so we'll see if she's up to doing it. But for the actual full episode, we're going to have Jess Barrera from Sally Tomato, the owner and founder of Sally Tomato, and I'm so excited to talk about handbags. It's been a project dear to my heart for many years. So thank you for bearing with us today. It was a little challenging for Sam and I, but we appreciate you hanging in there with us, and hope to send. Sue Brown says, yes, she'll be with me next week. All right, so you can all count on Sue Brown joining at the end of towards the end of the broadcast next week when we reveal the October Small Town Charm. Thank you for joining me today. See you next week.